Hello everyone and welcome to episode 20 of Pokemon Crystal. In the last part, we got over here to Kanto. And now we're actually proceeding through into our next area that we're going to be heading over to, which is Saffron City. And thus begins the pretty much... What I meant a couple parts back by Nostalgia Trip is that we're pretty much going through all of the gyms, even though it's going to be in a very odd order. It's not going to be in the order that it usually is. You know, from what I've heard, you can do it in that order, but I've never seen it done. Mostly because people just like to go in an order that's convenient for them. And the only reason I'm showing this fight is because, if you listen carefully, they did remix the trainer battle theme as well. And even though I won't be showing it off until I find a much better opportunity to, they also remixed the wild battle theme. Now you might hear the beginning of it every now and then, but that depends on what happens. And welcome to Saffron City. That was quick. And I'm glad I'm finally here because we can finally get another really decent move for Pat. Come in here and talk to this guy to get TM.29, I want to say. Yes! TM.29 Psychic. If you have a ghost type on you, like I have Pat, you're going to want to give that to him immediately. Because that can kick... Well, Psychic, even though it's a Psychic type move, works really well on Ghost types because the Psychic uses special stat to determine its damage, and Ghosts have really high special. Not as high as Psychic types, but still. I'm getting really confused right because Nightshade might still have its uses, and Hypnosis Dream Eater is still one of my best attack move combos. Now, coming up here, I actually went to the shop, but there was nothing I got there because, for some reason, I'm looking for shops that have specific items in them, but they don't seem to have them in the area in the areas I keep going to. Anyway, I go in here to find the Karate Gym from the first game. Now, in the first game, you had to fight a couple of trainers that had fighting-type Pokemon, but yeah, they don't have them here anymore. In fact, this used to be the gym of Saffron, but we'll get to that in a minute. And we get the Focus Band, which is a new item, a new hold item, which I'm going to be immediately giving to Abe, because the Focus Band makes it so you have a chance of surviving any attack that would normally KO your Pokemon. Like, say it was a one-hit KO, or not even, like, super effective, it would keep you from being knocked out. You'd be at 1 HP. And since Abe has the move Reversal, it's kinda gonna be overpowering. And this is the current Saffron Gym, which was actually in the original game, was the hardest gym in the game because it's Psychic type. And you know how I brought up how Psychic types were powerful in the original generation. Then again, I'm gonna be doing Yellow at some point, so... You'll see what I mean then. Now with this gym, you're just teleporting around. My best strategy is just to keep on going to the one across from me, because while that can be I think it is actually the longest route, that y'all always get there. You know, might take a bit. And this is Sabrina, who was nightmare fuel in the anime, actually. Well, not really, she wasn't that scary, but she was creepy, to say the least. Now, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the DS remake of Gold, Silver, and Crystal, she got a massive redesign from this. She's wearing like a tank top and shorts for some reason. I didn't understand that. Now, I think if I remember correctly, since I don't have the weakness chart entirely memorized, I forget if I made a good choice of sending out, Pat. I don't really remember. I probably should have sent out no, wait, I don't have a dark type, do I? Crap. Youch. That doesn't say how powerful a super effective Psychic can be. I don't know what can. Now, I used Cam throw a majority of this gym, which is why he fainted. I think he fainted it in the 4th battle, but besides that, really, I'm just trying to get everyone up to the same level at all times. Like, Blaze is at the highest level I'm going to let him be at for a bit, especially considering one of the next gyms I'm going to be doing is the Water Gym. Which, even though he should be able to get through it pretty quickly with Thunder Punch, I kind of want everyone to be at level 55 so I can have the levels rounded out by the end of the game in about 10 parts. And actually, right here, she's about to send out Mr. Mime, a Pokemon that is kind of unique. Because in Pokemon Generation 1, Red, Blue, and Yellow, they didn't have genders for Pokemon aside from the Nidorans, Nidoran male and female. Besides that, there were no genders. And yet, look here, this Mr. Mime. Notice that it's a female, Mr. But the reason for that is because the Mr. Mime is actually not called Mr. Mime in Japan. If I remember correctly, it's called, like, Mimic or something. Which or something that doesn't have a gender connotation to it, which is why they were able to get away with making female Mr. Mimes. And now she sends out her best Pokemon, Alakazam. This thing... yeah... Alakazam was one of the worst Pokemon you can go across in Generation 1, and still is in this... And it still is in this game, because Psychics are still pretty powerful, no matter what generation they're in. The only question is if they get really nerfed or anything else along the lines. And, of course, she heals. And Sabrina is down. Here we go. I was just looking at, I just found Mr. Mime's Japanese name. His name in the Mr. Mime species, his name in Japan is, by the looks of it, pronounced Barriered, which is pretty much a combination of barrier and weird. And with that, there's no gender connotations, which is why they're able to get away with having female ones of them. I think Nintendo would pick up with that, considering how good of a company they are. And since these guys were a bit of a pain with 3 in a row battles, I decided to edit them out entirely. And up and coming here after the battle after this guy, because there's one more battle on this route, we're going to be coming across a pretty famous town. A town that music track is rather depressing, and I'm going to get to talking about. Welcome to Lavender Town. This place's music in Generation 1 was depressing as all fuck. But for a good example, this because the tower behind us was once a tower graveyard where the dead Pokemon have always gone to. And the music apparently in the original Japanese version was a dual-layered MIDI, which apparently caused some children to have seizures, and they changed it for the American release because of that. Because they didn't want that coming back to haunt them, I'm guessing that that's why Nintendo decided to change a freaking graveyard tower into a radio tower. They had problems with ghosts in the first game. I don't want to see what trouble they're gonna get in after this. Just Indian burial grounds, anyone? It's Nintendo. Their logic has always been a bit off. And now I'm going to be going through one of the caves that was pretty much my nightmare fuel in the original Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire, Red, Leaf, Green. Welcome to Dark Cave. This place was the bane of my existence when I was a child. Well, not in here in Gen 2. In Gen 1, though, it was. Because you needed Flash for it, and I didn't know how to get Flash, so I had to walk through it blindly. Luckily, they shortened the cave. They shortened this cave very, very much for this. There's something I'm glad they did. And we got a PP up. I think I give that to... Who do I give that to, actually? I forget. It's been a while since I recorded this. Cam's Earthquake, that's right. You know, Earthquake won't be getting that much use. You know, this may be my team for until the finale, but even still. No, I think the reason that Dark Cave was a lot easier in this version is because they just narrowed down its scale dramatically, because it was a lot bigger in the original game. Anyway, as you notice, I had Slave in my party, but I won't be getting into why I have him in my party until next time on Let's Play Pokemon Crystal. Thank you guys for watching, rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and next time on Pokemon Crystal, we'll continue this route and see what else we can find. See you then!